Hello, welcome to my studio for another Makeup Monday. And I am your creative coach, Lisa Fulford, and I have some projects today that use the Sweet Citrus bundle and then the Fluid 100 watercolor paper. And I'm going to show you a couple tricks and tips for that and make some really cute projects. But before we move on to the projects, this is our fluid paper, and you get 10 of them in a pack. And so I'm going to show you this. I had a in-person class earlier today, and then I usually try to do the class projects on a video. And so I'm going to try to do some of it from start to finish. But this is our fluid paper. It's 5 by 7. So cutting it in half at 3.5 by 5 makes for a perfect size piece of the watercolor paper. But I did cut a piece in half. I do believe, yes, I have it right here. So this is the size that I'm working with today, but this is really a heavyweight watercoloring paper. And so that's what we're going to use for our projects today. And you'll see here in just a moment, have some little bit of anticipation for that. And then this is this set. I love this set. I've been wanting to play with this set for a while, and it's the Sweet Citrus. Just open this up. It has an embossing folder that is a hybrid one, and then our Sweet Citrus dies is stuck here. Generally is what happens whenever get that off of there. Sorry about that. So these are the floral dies that are left on the card for right now. But we also have, what I wanted to show about this was that you have 2 of these, 2 of those. It has a leaf dies, and so it cuts it out like this. But we have 2 of those. So whenever you are running it through our Stampin' cut and emboss machine, you have 2 of them, so you don't have to do as much die cutting. And so that's nice. It also comes with this other die that is 4 of the fruits. And I say fruits because they can be oranges or grapefruits or lemons or limes, anything that resembles, this type of fruit. So, but as a hybrid, this is the die cut. This is the embossing folder, and this is a 3D embossing folder. So you put the piece in here, and then you put your cardstock in there, close it down, run it through the Stampin' cut and emboss machine. And then it embosses and cuts at the same time. So I will show you that here shortly. But that is our hybrid embossing, and I will give a few tips on that. So today I'm not using any of the stamps for the fruit or the floral. We are using a couple of the sentiments. Have a zesty birthday, and then enjoy the sweeter things in life. The have a zesty birthday, we're going to do a card, and enjoy the sweeter things in life. It's a 3D project, but I think you'll like it. So that's what we're doing with that. So I'm going to set this off to the side out of the way, and I have a block here for some of the fun part of it. And so I will show you the projects we're going to make now. Let's put this away before I forget and lose that. All right, so here is our card that we're going to make. Have a zesty birthday. And we're using this new ribbon that it will be coming out in May. And then the cardstock is a returning color that is returning as a in color for the next 2 years. So it's going to be the 24, 26, one of the in colors for that. These are the in colors. So we have Peach Pie, Petunia Pop, Pretty in Pink, Shy Shamrock, Summer Splash. And so I went with the Pretty in Pink and paired it with Lemon Lolly. And then the other project that we're going to do is this. But here is what it is. It's a water bottle hanger, and it's got a little pink lemonade in it. So we went with the pink and the yellow citrusy, and so we're going to make that. So this is, I just put them on here straight. This one here I did a little bit, just kind of did a little fun way of putting the sentiment on there. And so we are going to make those. I'll set this off here to the side. I'll put this one over here. And I'll put the card up here so you can see that. I know some of my subscribers for YouTube has said that they like to see the project. So I'll put that right here in the view. So our watercolor paper, that is what our fruits are made with. And so I'm going to show you how I do this. I know there's a lot of different ways to do this, but whenever I was doing for the leaves, I stamped it on here, spritzed it with water, took my paper and stuck it on there and got it wet. And if it's, had different places, I dabbed it in there, but I had wet this down and it kind of just covered the whole thing. So I'm going to show you that. So there's dark places and light places, so that works. But we are going to make one that is ombre multicolor. And so I want to show you that. And they all come out just a little bit different. So this is Lemon Lolly. This is Melon Mambo. And Daffodil Delight. These are our 3 colors. So Lemon Lolly, Melon Mambo, Daffodil Delight. Lemon, melon, daffodil. Okay? And so sit that there, and I'm going to do one on camera to show you how I do it. And you can play with it and see if it would work better for you in another way. But this is how I do it. Then we'll need a heat tool, which I knocked off. So right here I've got my heat tool handy. And then paper towels. So I have those handy. So I'll lay this down. All right. So when I get started, what I do is this. So I put my daffodil on one corner. My Melon Mambo on another corner, and it does not take very much of the Melon Mambo. If you're going to do this technique, I suggest doing multiple pieces of our watercolor paper I think I did a total of 10 earlier today. Then we want a lot of lemon lolly. You don't want to mix your colors together. Okay, so I have a lot of lemon lolly on there. So all I'm doing is adding this is Daffodil, Melon Mambo, and lemon lolly. Now I do not have the new glass mat, but this mat that I have here is from years ago when we had a circle cutter, and this is the mat you would cut it on. And I've kept mine because I really like this mat. I did not get in on the purchase of the new glass mat prior to selling all that they could before they offered it as a sign-on incentive. So I'm using an old one, and I mean it's several years old. I'm on my 18th year, and I would say it's probably at least 16, maybe not, but I'm guessing at that. So, but anyway, it's going to work great for what we're doing. So I'm going to take, I have a spritzer bottle here with water in it, and I want to soak my piece here. I mean, I want to liberally add it on there. It is like drenched on there. Okay. And then I want to spritz this on here and get it wet. I'm going to grab my aqua painter, and I start with my lightest color and just add it to the corner. So I just keep picking it up. I'm not really squeezing this barrel because I don't really need to right now because I've sprayed water on this, and I have the water on here. And I'm just adding it. If I think it's too wet, I'm going to dry that off, and then I'll just pick it up this way. Okay? Now I'm going to pick up the daffodil, and I'm going to come over here in this corner. And I'm not really painting. I mean, I'm just dabbing it on there. I want light and dark and different things. Okay? Now I'm going to pick up a little bit of the Melon Mambo. And I am just adding it to it. I mean, I'm not being careful of anything, and okay. And if you think, oh, that's a little dark, that's fine. Then you grab another paper towel, and you just blot it away. Okay. And then, like I said, this one was the lemon lolly. I'm trying to clean out my pink a little bit, so I want the lemon lolly. I'll add that down here. I want to try to make darker spots. Okay. And then I'm going to take this. I can go from a light yellow to the darker yellow. I'm going to add it up here too. This is the daffodil. I don't want to fill it all the way in, but I'm going to mix some of my yellow and my Melon Mambo together. And I think that's quite a, looks pretty good right now. There's a fuzz on there, so, and I might even put some darker spots in there like that. So that's all I'm doing. And then you, like I said, you want to do multiples of them. So I'm just going to take, that was enough to do several. But right now, we're going to clean that off. Move that out of the way. My fingers are green and pink and yellow, but that's all right. It means we are having fun. So I want to set this here. Bring in my heat gun. I'm going to set it on 2. It might get noisy, but sometimes my my mic doesn't pick it up. And I want to dry this. As I'm drying it, it will start to curl. Turn it over so it'll curl the other way. Dry it from the back. All right. So here's one I made earlier, and here's one I made now. This is much darker Melon Mambo than this one. This is much darker Daffodil Delight, even the Lemon Lolly. But that's okay. They're all a little bit different. So I'm going to move this out of the way because it's messy. I will move this so we don't have a glare. All right, so now then, this is the one we just made. That's the one I made earlier. What I want to do is turn it, have the Stampin' Up side facing down, my die cut in the embossing folder with the cutting edges up. Turn my paper over and place on top of those die cuts, and then flip it over. So I need, there's two pieces of fruit on here, and there's 3 on this other one. And so I need 5 pieces of fruit. And if they are partial ones, that's fine because some of them are hidden and tucked under. But I try to get a few pieces extra that are full pieces. So like, here's this lemon at the bottom here. There's this wedge at the top. So I just scoop my piece around. Kind of like that. Oops. I need my die piece in place. There we go. So you can now see that my die is on the whole piece of watercolor paper. So I know it's going to cut each one of these pieces out, and then I'm going to also get these impressions there. I'm going to try to scoot this up just a hair more because these edges are getting nicked off just a bit. So I'm keeping some pressure here, and then I'm pushing the cardstock up. So that'll work. And then whenever you, for your sandwich, to go through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, you need number 1 and number 4. So you would put plate 1 down, your hybrid folder, This is your edge. That is the hinge. You always want it to go through first so that it doesn't break. Then you'll put your number 4 on top, and then you run it through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Hang on, I'll grab that. Here it is. So I'm going to place this in here. So I've got 1, folder 2, or 4. So I'm going to run this through. Before I let it go clear to the end, I'm going to come back, just because there's stuff at the end of this. I don't want to knock anything off my desk. Sorry if it's shaking. Okay. And here is what we get. So here's the blades and the folder. I'll set those off to the side. Now, when you cut the leaves, you want number 1. I need the this is a new machine, and I need the number 2 wedge. This is a cutting plate. I put it down, put down my watercolor paper, put my dies on here, and then put this on top and run it through, and it die cuts those. But this is the sandwich that I need. At 1, the shim number 2, and then 2 cutting plates. Some do not need that shim. Just a tip on that, but mine does. So that's how I have to stack mine to run it through. But I have those already cut out, and so I'm not going to die cut that, but I did want to show how to do that. All right, so then now this is what we are left with. Our pieces. See the different variegated pieces. So now I have these pieces here, and what I'm going to do is fussy cut those by hand. It doesn't take very long. We need 5, but I'm going to go ahead. I may want to use one of these, I'm going to go ahead and cut out what I can. I'm pretty much trying to move my paper, but sometimes I get a little bit and start moving my scissors. But I try not to. I try to move the paper. Try to keep the scissors as straight as I can, or as steady as I can, I mean. So there we go. I've got those pieces. And then here's one here. I'll just trim this one out. Might need that. And then go ahead and grab this lemon here. And if it's a little uneven, that's fine too, because lemons aren't perfect. Set that up there, and then the rest would be trash. All right, so those are our bits and pieces we'll use for both projects. Okay, so just put those up there. All right, so now then we're going to make this project first. And like I said, I have one of, with it just pretty straight, and one with it kind of fun and whimsical. So put those there and bring in my scoreboard. have my stylus here. This piece is a 3 1/4 by 8 1/2 piece of lemon lolly. And then I'm turning on the 8 1/2 side. I'll put it up here. And I'm going to score it at 2 inches. 2. And then at 5 3/4. So score at 2 inches, 5 3/4. You can see those quite well in this light. Then I'm going to turn this, and I'm going to score on the portrait side at a 1/2 inch. And then I'm going to turn it again, and I'm going to do the other side at a 1/2 inch too. Just makes it easier to for the scoring, to remember a 1/2 inch instead of having to remember, you know, a 1/2 inch and then 2 3/4. So I just turn it 1/2 inch, turn it, you know, completely, and then 1/2 inch. So that is what we're left with. And then we have a circle die here, and I cannot remember which set I took this out of, but it's about 1 1/4. I found a piece, I found a die cut, and I thought, oh, that'll be perfect. And when I went to put it onto the water bottle, I couldn't get it on there. So this one here is, I think, about 1 1/4, and it drops on there. So I know that that is going to be the perfect size for my water bottle. And so you would center it on to here, and then run that through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I think I already have one. Yep, I got it. I have one already cut with the circle. So I wanted to show how to emboss, or how to do the scoring, and then but I didn't want to, you know, use up all my time cutting the circle and everything. So now then we're going to grab our other bits that go with it. Those pieces are right over here. All right, so this is a piece of DSP, and it comes from the large pack that is the Delightfully Eclectic 12 by 12. And there's all kinds of different things in here, but I just kind of flipped through this till I found, whoops, sorry about that, till I found what I was looking for. Let's see, where are they? I don't think there it is. Here's the lemons. And so you get several, 1, 2, 3, and I used another one for 4. So I've used several. You get several of them, and I've used almost one whole sheet. I think this is what I have left out of a 12 by 12 sheet, and I did a class today, and I think I've done 10 of cut 10 of these out. So I mean, a little over half of a sheet. But so this piece of DSP is a, let's see, I think it's 2 inches by 3.5 inches. Yes, 2 inches by 3.5. This piece is 2 inches by 2.5, and I ran this through the embossing folder. I think it's the timber folder, and so I just put a little interest on that, with the temper folder. And then these are just some pieces that I had cut earlier. I can use any of them that I want. And then some of my leaves. So I'm going to grab my glue. And I'm going to add my DSP. And I like putting glue in the corners. That's another tip. And then just add around the outside edge. That way my corners get glued down nicely. And I'm going to center that between top and bottom score line and the two side score lines. So like that. Okay. So that's going to have time to dry while we do our cutting. So this is the 2-inch tall, so our 2-inch score line, that's where the circle is going to go to hang on your water bottle. So we're going to drop down here to this bottom section, and we are going to, almost went the wrong direction. We're going to go up and kind of angle cut it, and then just angle cut this bottom piece because we're going to make a tab here. And then over here, we're going to also cut up and then cut down. So to make another little tab right here. Then we want to cut either right on the score line or just kind of to the right side of this score line on the right. So I'm going to start out just barely leaving the score line. I'm not on the outside of it, but I'm not going right down the channel either. Hope that makes sense. You can do this on the your paper cutter. That's fine. And then this one here, I'm going to flip over, and then I'm going to cut it on the outside of that raised up mountain. So just barely on that outside edge. So you're going to get to, you'll see a little bit of the score line. We can always trim away more if we need to, but you can't add it back on. I did this project with copy paper to begin with, and it worked great. Then I tried it with cardstock, and it did not work great. So then I had to tweak it a little bit until I came up with what would work. So this is what worked for me. All right, so now then, this has been put on. We're going to flip this over. And I'm going to add tear tape to these tabs right here. So, and I want it close to that score line on that tab edge. So right there. Come right to here. And tear. Then start just on that, where that score line's at, cut down here, and tear. Then I want my bone folder, if I could find that. Right, here it is. I want to burnish those, and then fold them towards, so have where your DSP is, and fold it up so that you can see these pieces with the tear tape on them. Just kind of, okay, so I can see now I need to trim just a little bit more, just right here. So starting at this corner, just going to trim a little bit, and then same way over here. It's not an exact science. Like I said, if you cut right on the score line, you end up, this ends up being wider than this. And you really don't want that. You want to have what your tear tape is going to adhere to. Alright, so now then, burnish this one going up. And now we know this is our front, because this is where our tape is at. When you flip this up, we're now going to add this on there. Just add glue to the corners so your corners get good and adhered. And I just go around the outside, pick it up, and center that on the front of that little pocket that we're making. Like that. Then you want to hold that for a moment because this is embossed. You want to make certain it gets good and adhered and doesn't slide around. And then this little bit down here, I'm going to knock that corner off. Just the corner. I don't want to cut my side edge, but that little nub that's sticking out there, I'm just trimming that off. Okay. So now then, it's time to remove this tear tape backing. Oops, I just stabbed myself. Don't do that. I burnished it well, so now that I'm just going to flip that up. I'm going to turn it to the back and then make certain it adheres well. I tried doing glue and either I didn't hold it long enough for it to adhere well, or the glue dried too fast before I put it together and it kept popping apart. So now that you've got that put together and you've burnished over the back piece, you want to take and just I'm just pressing on this edge so that it'll pop open just a little bit. And then see how that pocket is staying kind of gapped open because I pressed it like this? That leaves room for your pink lemonade. And I got these at Walmart. I can't remember, you know, they might be a couple dollars. You get 10 of them in a pack and they're sugar free. And it's pink lemonade, and it's got the pink and the yellow on there. And you just slip that in there, and that's how you make that little pocket. Okay. And this one here, you want to fold it back, and you don't want to. You can burnish it hard if you want, but I just use my fingers to pinch it back. And now it's time to decorate the front. So you want to dry fit first. That's what I like to do. So I'm going to put this here. I want this yellow part at the top. And then I'm going to put, I think, this piece. So that's a nice contrast, this like that. And then my leaf and my leaf. So I'm going to move this out of the way and add some glue to both of these, just right on that where it comes together. Like that. And add that to the back. I'm going to hold it for just a few moments so that it at least gets tacky to the lemon. Now I'm going to turn this over and add glue to where, right here where it overlaps. So I'm not going to extend out into the leaves because they're going to extend off our project. And then I'm going to add quite a bit of glue to the center of this. than on that leaf, because if it happens to pop apart, I want the leaf to be stuck to this. Okay, so I'll pick that up. And remember, I want my lemony part up here at the top. And I'll put that about right there in the center. I glue on my fingertips. All right, now this one here, we're going to add dimensionals to the back of it. Do a couple. Peel backings off. And then just kind of put it at an angle right there. Set that off to the side. And this is that 1-inch piece. And it's just a random length. I think it was just something that I had left off of when I was cutting the white embossing, or pardon me, the white paper for the embossing portion of it. So let's see. It's about the size of that pink piece, and it's 5 inches. So it's 5 inches maybe, but you don't necessarily need the full 5 inches. But we are going to take the Enjoy the Sweeter Things in Life, and it's photopolymer. So I'm going to ink it up. I'm taking the ink pad to my stamp so that I can see that it's all covered. And I'm going to line this up. I hold it so that the ink can adhere to the piece of cardstock. There we go. And then I want to look and see, do I want to do it like how I did there and add the Sweeter Things in Life? I think I want to, because that seemed to work for me. In class today, I think they did a little bit different. You could make it an angle cut, but I just try to make it random cuts. So, in life, enjoy. All right, I'll bring in my mini dimensionals. And on these two smaller pieces, I want a couple. Each of those. And on this longer piece, I'll space it out just a little bit more and put 3. I like to place my longest piece first. Get all those backings off, and kind of like it when it's tucked in behind just a little bit. Like that. So enjoy. Sweeter Things in Life. And see, this little corner's knocked off, so I want to cover that up. So there we go. Bring in these gorgeous adhesive-backed shiny sequins. And I take your big tool, and I want to take and do a small green one down here because I want to bring out some more of the green from the thing. I want one of the pink ones up here. And how about one of the yellow ones there? Then I added another little touch. What I did was I took one of our spritzer bottles and I opened up my Wink of Stella and opened this up, and I put this down in the bottle and I squeeze it and put about 4 or 5 drops of Wink of Stella down in the barrel of this. Okay, and then I filled it up the rest of the way with alcohol. And this one is 91% because I was going to do another project, but some of my others are like 73. But something I'm doing specifically took 91. And so then you just shake it so that you mix the Wink of Stella. And I don't know if you can see, it's got all that shimmer kind of floating around in there. It's got quite a bit in there. And then for several times you can just add alcohol and shake it because there's quite a bit of Wink of Stella. Okay, and then whenever you don't see the shimmer anymore, it's time to add more Wink of Stella. So then I take it and I spritz it down. I don't know if you can see all the shimmer on that or not, but in person it's really shimmery. And then now we just add this on in here and add it to our water bottle, and you have a treat for someone. Whoops, drop it. So that is your treat to hang on a water bottle. So that we have that finished now. So I'll move those out of the way. Move this off to the side. We'll use that again on the next thing. So that's a tip, putting your Wink of Stella into your spritzer, add alcohol, and then you have a mist, shimmer mist. Now I will say protect your surface because I have glitter all over my counter here. You don't see it on camera, which is good, but it is everywhere. I don't know if I wipe it up if it'll come off or not, but it does fly everywhere. So now then it's time for our card. I have a piece of Lemon Lolly again. It's 4 1/4 by 11 inches. And then we have the gorgeous Pretty in Pink. That's a returning color for, like I said, the for our in colors for 24-26. So it'll be around for 2 more years. And it is 3 3/4 by 5 inches. And then we have a piece of basic white that's 3 1/2 by 4 3/4 inches. And I ran it through the embossing folder without the die cut. So just put it in here. Ran it through. It's still the same sandwich, the number 4 plate and the number 1 plate. This end goes through first in the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and then it just kind of embosses it like that. And then we have a piece of 3 1/2 by 5, and that's for the inside. Plus we have a 1/2 inch piece here, and once again it's a random length, and it's for our sentiment. This is that new ribbon from that we could order from when we went to On Stage. It was in our product premiere pre-order. And so let me grab, here is the one that is the peach pie, and it is called Bordered Ribbon. And so it is 3/8 of an inch wide. This is in the pretty in pink. And this piece, I would say, let me see, this is 5 inches. So it's probably about 6.5 inches maybe. And then just a little short piece. So all I did was put it over the pink piece of cardstock and make certain I had extra on the end, and then made one that's shorter but enough for me to work with it. So those are our pieces, and then our little pieces here to decorate the front of the card. So we will start adding our pieces. I'll turn this over, put glue on my corners. Add it around the outside, and this is embossed heavily, like it is a dynamic embossing, like it really is raised up. So I put a lot of glue on there, and then I just want to center it on my pretty in pink. Like that. Then I want to add my ribbon. So I want to think about where I want to put it on this piece. And then I'm going to flip my piece over with my 2 pieces of ribbon and hold them on the end. I have some tape here. Piece of tape down here on this end. Add a piece down here on this end. So my ribbon's still there. And I'm going to add dimensionals to the back of that. About like that. And then here's my valley. This is the mountain. I want my mountain on the inside, my valley on the outside. And I'm going to center that card front like that. And while that's there, I'm going to slip this underneath, just tie it in a knot. And we're making a faux bow. Scoot it down just a little bit. And then I'll pull on my ends here, like that. Grab my scissors, trim it down, like that. Score my that. Grab my folder. I'm not rubbing over the white because I don't want to deboss what I've already got there. So there's that. Now our inside piece, I'm going to go ahead and add. You can either add glue just to the top, or you can do all 4 corners. A lot of times I just add a stripe at the top and the bottom. Save on glue and time. It's on the inside, so you could add a sentiment if you like. I usually try to wait until know who I'm going to send it to know what I want to put on the inside. Or sometimes I just write something. A lot of times I don't even glue it down just in case I'd make a mistake. You've got two sides to every project. All right, so this little piece here, I think I'm going to put that down here in that corner. Like that. I have another piece here that was a partial one. I think I'll tuck it right behind that other piece. Just so you can't see that it was cut. There we go. So that's our inside. Now we'll go back to working on this. So we can take this piece. And what did I do with my other leaves? It's a leaf. And there's my leaf. Oh, there they are. Okay, so I want to just dry fit it for right now. You don't want to go past your edge of your card. How about something like that? Tuck this there. All right, so I know on this one, I'm going to add glue to my little bit there. This is a silicone mat, this whole top part is. It covers my whole workstation here. It's like our silicone mats that we sell, but only on a larger scale for whenever I'm filming. For class time, I would take the smaller pieces with me. These two I'm going to bring down. Add the glue to right there. And add. Okay. Now I'm going to add the glue to the back of this. I'm not going to go clear to the tips of the leaves. Like I said, this is really embossed. I want to put it heavily there in the center. And then come up here. Like that. So here I'm going to add to the leaves and the lemon. Add it like that and just hold it. This last one I'm going to add with dimensionals. But because this is overlapping this, it's really embossed. And as I go into that, I'm trying to put my block on top of that for right now. So while that's got some weight on it and adhering, we'll do some of our stamping. So I'm going to bring in sticky fingers. Another piece of my 1/2 inch white cardstock, basic white, and my pretty and pink ink. I'm going to ink up my Have a Zesty Birthday. And I'm going to Try to get it to fit. Now I'm doing it kind of in the center. There's a reason for that. I'm holding it so that ink will adhere well. That looks pretty good. Okay, so take that out of the way. Should be sticking well. Take our wedge, add dimensionals towards the bottom of this one. Okay. Take the backings here off. Just kind of tuck it up. Kind of touching a little bit of everything. Now then, I want to see about where I want to put this. So I'm going to go just past my exclamation and try to cut it straight like that. Then I'm going to take and cut this at an angle. Kind of like that. So I want to put a dimensional on this end tip and on this end, but not here where it's overlapping. And we will do many dimensionals. I love dimensionals. Kind of like that. Take these backings off, and then I'm going to put just a little squirt of glue right there. And put this to the edge. Like that. And we'll use our gems to add some bling. You know, who doesn't like bling? I do. So let's add a pink over here. Lemon there. Add some of the green. Let's see, we'll go with a bigger green. Maybe add that up here. Do a smaller green one just below the ribbon, and how about another pink one right up there. So you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3, and I tried to do it in like a type of a pattern that's going to draw your eyes to the center part of everything. I'll bring in this piece of paper, lay this down, and find my alcohol, the one that's marked alcohol. Shake it and spritz this down too. A couple spritzes would probably do you. And then, I don't know if you can see the shimmer or not. Let's see if it can. See, yeah, you can see like the sparkle right here and stuff. And it shimmers all over the whole thing. So it just adds a little extra detail. So I've given you tips on how to do the watercoloring, tips on the alcohol Wink Stella spritzer. I've also given tips on fussy cutting, like putting your watercolor paper so that you get the extra pieces, so you can fussy cut a few extras out for your 2 projects. So here's this one. I'll take it off the water. And there is that. Those are the 2 that we made today. And then earlier today, these are the ones that I made earlier. So ones we just made, the ones we made earlier. So see, this one's darker than this one. And so just play around with it, get, try making different ones, and then find different things that you want to cut out of the watercolor paper. Or you could use it for, it could have been the background behind this. I just wanted to use our Pretty in Pink, our watercolor paper, add a little bit of the pops of our word sentiments on there, do some spritzing, and then this little pouch that I came up with. I was online, I was looking for something similar to this because I'd found these pink lemonade packets, and I wanted to use it with this, man, it's really thunder in here, with this stamp set, the bundle, the Sweet Citrus, and so I really like this, and so I wanted to play around with it, and this is what I came up with. So I'm going to try to, I don't know if I will get it when I upload the video or not, but I'm going to try to come up with my a Google Doc or a pattern of what I did here, because I went online. I found 2 or 3 different ones for these little packets. This part was too short, or it was really hard to put together, and so that is why I came up with my pattern. So you can, Google it, or you can give me a little bit to get my pattern up there. If I will go ahead and upload the video, and then if I don't get it when I am uploading it, then I will add it shortly. So anyway, so I want to thank you for joining me in my studio today for these fun projects, and I hope you like this nice little suite of projects here, and just give these techniques that I've shared with you today a try. And so welcome and thank you for coming to my Make It Monday, and if you like it, come back and see me for another Make It Monday. And I have Technique Tuesdays and mystery stamping on Thursdays, not every Thursday. So I have some different classes that I'm doing that are not always weekly, but are being more often. So thank you for joining me, and happy stamping. Goodbye.